Good morning, manifestors. It's Paula with the 411 on manifesting. Welcome back to my channel. How was your weekend, everyone? I would love to hear in the comments what you guys did this weekend. I had a really good weekend. I did stay home. I have a really big market coming up this weekend, so I had a lot of stuff to do. I had a laundry list of stuff to do, to be honest. And I was getting a little bit stressed, kind of just regarding my time management. I kind of started off this month by speaking something into existence that did not yet exist, which was, oh, I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to get everything done. Where am I going to find the time? Where am I going to find the time? Because I did have a lot of stuff to do, but I got it done. And I had this big list of stuff to do, but some of it took 10 minutes, some of it took half an hour, some took a couple hours, some things I had to finish, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, to satisfy my, kind of inner critic and cross all those things off the list one by one was an amazing feeling. And I love a good list. I love a good list. It's very rewarding and satisfying for me to cross things off a list. Makes me feel super accomplished and I got, lots done. So that was kind of my weekend. And honestly, it was absolutely amazing. So, and yesterday I actually got to see my grandson and my son. So that was really nice and unexpected and amazing. So that was like the perfect end to my weekend. Okay, let's get started. So probably about the last year, I've been really getting into a good morning routine because I did not have one before. I'm a type of person that would wake up a half an hour before they had to be at work. I can put my makeup on at Olympic speed like most mums can. I braid my hair the night before so that it's not messy. I don't even have to brush it sometimes. Like I had this nailed down flat, everybody. I could literally wake up a half an hour before I had to be at work. But I didn't. Getting to work at 1 minute before I actually had to be there. And I know that there are people like that, and that which is fine because you really aren't paid until the time that you start work. I'm not that person. I like to actually get to work, 10 or 15 minutes early, have a coffee, turn on my computer, get everything going, get my emails up, things like that. And a lot of the time I'm the only one there. So it's quite nice and peaceful just to sort of sit and, kind of have your own time in the morning at your workspace. I've taken it to another level though, and it's mostly because it's really busy right now. I typically start work at 7 and I'm done at 5. I don't take lunches a lot of the time. It's not always like this, by the way. It's just very busy right now. But even coming in, I know that I actually have to start work at like 7:15 or 7:30. So I do come in to work at 7 just to have that time to have my coffee and, do a couple other things for myself. I have a really beautiful office. I work rurally. So I have a gorgeous view of there's pasture all around me, but there's a gorgeous view of cows walking every morning and there's birds and I have lots of plants and crystals and things in my office. So it's just a really nice space to kind of sit and have quiet time in the morning. So, but I digress. I did want to talk about some successful habits of successful people. There are 4 to me that really stuck out that I wanted to talk about today because, successful people and unsuccessful people, they both get out of bed the same time. Like they both get out of bed the same way every single morning. And it's what they do with that first step when they get out of bed that really matters and sort of shapes their day. So these are 4 that I practice, that I've been practicing for probably about a year now. I can't even tell you the difference that it's made in my life. It's absolutely amazing. Starting the first one, and the first one is probably the most important one, it was really, really difficult for me to break this habit with my morning routine, but I've done it and I'm glad. But it's starting the day in silence. No phone. That was a hard one for me. I know I'm not the only one that does this, but I literally would charge my phone like on my bed, like right next to me, which I know some people will say that that is a fire hazard. I know. Nothing's never happened to me. I have a good charger. But anyway, I literally charged my phone right by my bed, like right by my head on my bed. So it was the first thing that I woke up to every single morning. And trying, not looking at my phone every single morning while I was laying in bed was really challenging to do. So that was probably the hardest one for me. But, for those of you that the first thing you do is make a coffee and go watch the news, fill yourself full of bad energy first thing in the morning, because that's really what the news is. The news is supposed to inform us, but it just informs us of the bad things that are going on. And a lot of the time that's what your phone does too, depending on your algorithm. If you're somebody who's, following a lot of news pages or, rant and rave pages or things like that, or that's the first thing that you're going to see when you turn on your phone, because that's your algorithm. So getting away from looking at your phone or watching the news first thing in the morning is a game changer. Honestly, I mean, if your phone is your alarm, that's one thing. You can turn your alarm off. You can get up and go about your day. Look at your phone, maybe get to work 10 minutes early and look at your phone. That's what I do. Anyway, so sitting in silence for the first 10 to 15 minutes of your day is, like I said, a real game changer. You can meditate. I like to meditate. It's kind of two-part. I do use my phone, but I don't scroll on my phone. I actually put a meditation on while I'm still in bed, just like a 10-minute one. There's a lot of morning meditations on YouTube, so that's what I do. I have a couple favorite that are kind of saved in my YouTube vault, and I literally just go onto that and pick one. That's how I start my day now, is with a morning meditation. You can also journal in silence, journaling what you're grateful for, journaling that you're grateful to get out of bed, not be on your phone. So that's a really good one. But starting your day in silence, whether you use a guided meditation, whether you just want to sit and think, but no phone, no TV, first thing in the morning. Number 1. Number 2, I really like this one. I've talked about this before. Write your day out before you start your day. So there's a couple of good things to really take away with this. When you control your day, nobody else can control it for you. So having a plan, what do you want to do today? What is it that you want to do? And this could be on a work day if you have, maybe a list of things that you have to get done. It could be a day off at home if you have a list of things you want to get done. So writing out your day, and then asking yourself why it matters that you do these things. Why does it matter that I clean out my spare room? It would make me feel good. I would be able to leave the door open in there. There's little things like that. And then how will you do it? So what is it that you want to do? Why do you want to do it? And how will you do it? So you're creating some action steps to some things that you want to do. And also, too, for people that feel a bit scattered during the day, writing out your day kind of step by step. I mean, we don't have to follow it to a T, of course, but if you're writing down, well, the first thing I have to do, I have to get groceries. Why is that important? Well, it's important to get groceries because I have to eat. I've heard this from a few people, too, that really like to do their grocery shopping in the morning, especially if they maybe tend to skip breakfast or skip a meal or two, having to do it after work when they're starving, and then they buy, unhealthy food or too much food. So that's, grocery shopping first thing in the morning is a really, really good one. So writing that down. Cleaning your house. Why is cleaning your house important? Because it makes you feel good to be in a clean space, that kind of thing. Eating healthy. I want to eat healthy today. Why is that important? It's important to eat healthy because, again, it makes you feel good. So those are some kind of different examples, but writing out your day, super, super important. It helps to keep you present. It helps to keep you grounded. And if during your day you have maybe a step towards a goal that you're trying to accomplish, then that there is actually an action step towards a goal. So that's kind of amazing too, right? So number 3, move your body. I had a hard time with this. I do not anymore. I think if those of you that have watched my video a couple weeks ago, excuse me, I bought a rebounder. So I love to do my jumps first thing in the morning. Sometimes I do it twice a day. But moving your body, there's kind of a 3 and 3, 3, 3, 3 it's called. So it's like 3 minutes of walking or jumping if you have a rebounder or whatever. 3 minutes of stretching and 3 minutes of breathing. So you can either do exaggerated breathing where you're like that, or you can do the in 3, hold 3, out 5. But as long as you do it for 3 minutes. So 3 minutes of walking, 3 minutes of stretching, 3 minutes of breathing. So having some sort of movement before you actually get out and start your day, that is that is an armor. It's a physical armor that you're putting on yourself because your serotonin completely increases, right? So you get all your good happy vibes that come from exercise, and it really is, it's like an armor before you go out and start your day. And the fourth thing excuse me, that successful people do in a day is to journal about gratitude, journal about what you want to accomplish in the day. I like to start out my day by journaling about what I'm grateful for. I put down 10 things. I always have more. Yes, I put down the same things every day because I'm grateful for the same things every day. Grateful for my children and my grandson. I'm grateful for my beautiful home. I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for my job. I have an amazing job. So there's a lot of things that I'm grateful for. If you kind of sit and add up the time that these 4 things take, so 10 minutes of meditation, try and do 15 if you can, but 10 minutes of meditation, 5 minutes of writing out your day, why it matters and how you're going to do it. The 3-3-3, that's another 9 minutes of just movement, and then gratitude takes 5 to 10 minutes. So you're sitting at about a half an hour. And if you're a person that doesn't think that they have enough time in the morning to do those things, go to bed a half an hour earlier and get up a half an hour earlier so that you may do those 4 things. That is a direct line out of a book by Jim Rohn that he trains people who are successful. And those are the 4 things that they do every single morning without skipping a beat. So I would encourage you, and if you feel like 4 is maybe a little bit too much, then just pick 1 to start or pick 2 to start. Work your way up or switch them around. But let's start getting on the track to have these successful mornings and stop bolting out the door 100 miles an hour. I think it changes the way that you start your day, and again, it gives you some armor to go into the day, because our days are not always that easy, right? We know that. That is my vlog for today, everybody. Sorry I ran on a little bit too long, but I really wanted to talk about this because I just think it's so important to start your morning right. I would love to hear in the comments what you do to start your morning. I think when we all comment about different things that we do, that's how we learn. Sometimes somebody will put something on there that I hadn't thought of and vice versa. So I really, really like that. Please do not forget to like this video, and please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It just helps me get out there to make more content for you. Have a wonderful Monday, everybody. If nobody tells you this week, I love you. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.